Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nurat and I'm a Nigerian content creator living in the city of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. And on this channel, I talk about immigration pathways and updates, lifestyle, and life in Canada generally. And if you're new on my channel, you're highly welcome. Please consider to use the subscribe button and turn your bell notification so you never miss an update. So today we're talking about something that a lot of people don't realize, and that is your PR status. Your permanent residency status in Canada is actually not permanent if you don't follow the rules. So this video is actually for those that are already in Canada or newcomers that are in Canada, and I'm talking about 1 year, 2 years in Canada max. So if you have someone that is in this situation or that have the status, please forward this video to them. And if you are that person, I'll encourage you stay tuned to the end of this video so you know what to do and what not. So guys, after going through the long and stressful immigration process, the last thing you want to think about is losing your permanent residency status, right? But trust me, it happens more often than you think. And the worst part is that some people do not even realize they've lost their PR until it's too late. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 15 ways in which you can lose your PR status in Canada, some of which might surprise you. So make sure you watch to the end and let's dive in. So the first is not meeting the residency obligation. What does this mean? Canada expects that you actually live in Canada if you have a permanent residency status. You must be in Canada for at least 730 days, and that is around 2 years in Canada in a 5-year period. So if you stay outside Canada for too long, you risk losing your PR status. That's for sure. Some people might think that, oh, I'll just come back and reset the clock and, maybe that's going to help me keep my residency status here. But it doesn't work that way. This can only work unless you're working for a Canadian company abroad or a few other expectations. Aside that, you need to be physically present in Canada, so you have to fulfill your residency obligation. The second is committing a serious crime. This one is pretty straightforward. If you break the law, you will lose your PR status in Canada. And I'm not talking about small offenses. I mean serious crimes like fraud, assault, drug trafficking. Anything that can get you to stay in prison for about 6 months. This can make you risk losing your PR status in Canada. Even if you've lived in Canada for years, criminal conviction could get you deported. So stay out of trouble. Now, the third one is lying and misrepresentation. If you lied or gave false information when applying for PR, this could actually come back to haunt you. So this includes fake marriages or marriage of convenience, hiding a criminal record, or using a fake document. All of this can actually be turned towards a misrepresentation and could get you out of Canada. Even if years has passed, if IRCC find you, this could take away your PR status. So be truthful. Now, the fourth way you could lose your PR status is being a security risk. Now, what does this mean? If the government of Canada thinks that you are involved in terrorism, espionage, or organized crime, you can lose your PR status. No questions asked. This is rare, but Canada takes security very seriously. So if they suspect that you are a threat, then you won't get to stay. Period. Now, the fifth way is not renewing your PR card or getting stuck outside Canada. Now, let me explain this. Your PR card expiring doesn't mean that you lose your PR status. Okay, but here is the issue. If you're outside of Canada and your PR card expires, you can't just hop on a plane and want to come back to Canada just like that. You need a permanent resident travel documents, that is PRTD. And if your residency obligation is in question, like the first point I gave, you need to fulfill your obligation. So let's say, for example, you are a PR card holder and you haven't stayed in Canada within the period of time that you ought to stay, as a PR holder. If this is in question, then you are in big trouble. And this simply means that you might not get approved for the next, for your renewal of your PR card. I've heard a lot of people getting stranded in this situation. So don't let this happen to you. And the sixth point is voluntarily giving up your PR status. Believe it or not, some people choose to give up their PR status. So this could happen when people or PR status holder decide to move to another country and they do not want to meet Canada's PR requirements anymore. It happens. So if you apply to renounce your PR status in Canada, it is gone forever. So you need to think carefully before making that decision. But the seventh way you could lose your PR in Canada is when you're involved in sponsorship fraud. If you sponsor a spouse or a family member and they are found to have committed a crime or a fraud to get a PR, you could also be investigated. Even if you do not know anything about the crime or the fraud that they might have committed, IRCC will still question your PR status. So always make sure that you are sponsoring someone legitimately. Next point on my list, which is number 8, is receiving a removal order. A removal order simply means Canada is asking you to leave. And there are 3 types of that. The first is the departure order. So this simply means that you must leave Canada within 30 days and confirm your departure. The second one is the exclusive order. This means that you cannot return to Canada in the period of 1 to 5 years. And the third one is the deportation order. And this simply means that you are banned for life from entering Canada. And you can only return to Canada unless you have or you seek for a special permission to return. So if you get any of this, your PR status is gone. So the 9th point is losing your refugee status, and that's if you got your PR as a refugee. If you got your PR through refugee status and then Canada now finds out that you no longer need protection from your country, that simply means if you return to the country that you claim asylum from, your PR can be taken away from you. And the 10th point is becoming a Canadian citizen. This is the only point that I think I like. It is a good reason to lose your PR status. Like, who doesn't want to become a citizen? Canadian citizen, right? So once you become a Canadian citizen, you automatically stop being a permanent residency. Good. So nothing to worry about in this case, because this is what most people hope to get. The 11th point is failing to meet the sponsorship obligation. That means if you sponsor someone to Canada. If you sponsor someone, it means that you have agreed to take care of them financially for a set duration of time. So if you don't fulfill your obligation on those that you vouch that you take care of once they land Canada, and then they now ended up, on government assistance, be sure that IRCC will come after you. This won't usually make you lose your PR status, but it could affect future application. If you want to bring someone else from outside Canada, they could deny your application or reject it because of this. Next point, which is number 12, is working for a foreign government without permission. Canada expects that PR holder maintain strong ties with the country. So if you work for a foreign government or military without permission, this could raise questions about your loyalty to Canada. So the point 13 is human rights violation or war crimes. If Canada found that you are involved in war crimes, genocide, or human rights violations, even before you became a PR, like they found that out before you became a PR of Canada, you were involved in none of those terrorist acts, they can revoke your PR status even after years might have passed. So the 14th one is not responding to an immigration inquiry or appeal. If IRCC send you a notice or a request regarding information about your PR status and you ignore it, they could simply assume that you are no longer interested in being a PR in Canada and revoke your application. So my advice is always respond to immigration requests on time to avoid being in this situation. Now the 15th point, which is the last one, is getting a dual PR status in a country that do not allow that. Some countries do not allow that you keep permanent residency status in multiple places. So if you move to a country that's require that you renounce your PR status in Canada, then you automatically lose your PR. Canada itself does not care about this. But if the country that you move to forces you to lose it, then it's gone forever. So guys, that's it. That's all the 15 ways I believe you could lose your PR status while in Canada. Losing your PR isn't automatic. You'll always have to go through a formal process first before a decision is finally made. But trust me guys, you don't want to be in that situation. So just follow the rules, meet your residency requirements, and stay out of trouble. It's simple. So guys, that's the end of today's video. Did you find this video helpful and thoughtful? And if you've learned something new, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, so you never get to miss an update. And also you can do this by turning on your bell notification and to get more update about lifestyle and life in Canada generally. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. See you in my next video. Bye for now.